This is very exciting. Hi, this is Dale Peterson, and welcome to the Unsolicited Response Show. Happy New Year. Happy 2023 to all of you. I'm hoping to get 50 episodes of the show out this year. We did actually hit 50 in 2022, which was our goal, so I was happy about that. We're probably going to make a few changes. We're going to do a quarterly review as opposed to a monthly review like we tried to do in 2022. There just, quite frankly, wasn't enough big stories every month to warrant that. And I think it might have been a little bit of overkill. So we're making that adjustment. Another adjustment we're making is I think we're going to focus less on government efforts. They tend to be the ones that generate the most heat, but I'm not sure they're really moving the needle. So we're going to focus more on what asset owners are doing, what industry groups are doing, and probably some related field talks as well. There's quite a few books I've been reading that I want to get the authors on. So I'm really looking forward to it. I may do a prediction show next week. I'm not sure. I've got about 5 predictions I feel good about. If I can get up to 10, I'll do a prediction show. Otherwise, it'll just be a column. But thank you for your support over the last year. Looking forward to doing it again this year. And we've got, I think, a good episode to kick things off. And it's related to S4. S4 23 is February 14th through 16th in Miami South Beach. If you are thinking about buying a ticket, I would do it soon. We're just about to go over $750, which is the next price bump. So if you do it in the next week or so, you'll probably save yourself $200 or so. Everything's going great. We've got so many things. Producer Liz is probably going crazy because I keep adding more things to the event, but there's going to be all the favorites you've had in previous years, as well as a lot of new things. But one thing we're bringing back this year that we started last year at S422 was the Women in ICS Security program. Because as you know, women in the tech field in general, in the security field in general, and even more so in the ICS field, are vastly underrepresented in the field as compared to their population. They're about 51% of the population and are somewhere between 10 and 15% of the people working in this field. So anytime I hear about we have a workforce problem, to me, that jumps right to my mind is, well, if we could get more women into this field, if half our professionals were women, that would probably solve most of our workforce shortage problems. At S422, what we did in the program was really pretty simple. We said, well, let's try this. We gave away 100 free tickets that allowed women access to the Monday pre-show events and all day Tuesday, which is the biggest day with the welcome party and everything. And we had a Monday evening women's only social event where the women could get together before the show, meet each other and such. The reaction was very positive. I think it was quite a surprise. I'm sure it was the largest gathering of women in ICS security ever. We had people at all different points in their careers and all different roles in their careers. It was really something that we were excited. It, quite frankly, exceeded my expectations. But we also recognized we could do a lot more. That anytime you bring together all these people, you might as well take full advantage of that opportunity of all these people to help move this issue forward, to help get more women into the field and help them grow their careers. So one of the things I did was look for someone to lead this effort for S423, to lead the Women in ICS Security program. And Liz, why don't we bring the women up on the screen now? Kim Legelis very gladly, fortunately, volunteered to lead the effort. And we have 2 of the people that are helping her out, but there's much more than 2. We have Donna Cusimano and Saltanat Mashirov. They're 2 of the leaders. We're going to talk to all 3 of the women about what's going to happen this year at the event. But Kim, maybe as a first question, you graciously stepped up to say, hey, I'll lead this effort. Was it difficult to get volunteers to help you with the effort?
Well, first, before I tell you the answer to that question, which was not hard, I wanted to wish you a happy new year as well, and also say what a great way to kick off 2023 by talking about women in ICS. I think that's a great way to kick off the year, and I'm extremely honored to be working with lots of volunteers to help put together a Women in ICS Security program for this year. At S4, and two of the folks that are helping me do that are on this podcast with you now. But also, there's many other women behind the scenes. And I don't know, when we first started talking about this, maybe 6 months ago, obviously there was a lot of enthusiasm coming off of the inaugural social event that went on last year. Many people were involved in that and attended that, and we're eager to then help expand upon that effort this year, particularly focusing on career building for women, networking for women, and helping women to really, as you start off by saying, contribute to the significant challenges that the world of ICS cybersecurity faces. So it was not hard, to answer your question, to get volunteers. We sort of put out an all points request. Anybody open to anyone who wanted to help, and we've had a number of committees formed to help build a program that I think is going to be really interesting for women who are attending us. For your generous offer of tickets certainly helps facilitate that, and there's also sponsors for some of the events. Like the social event, that also helps to put some funding behind it, and some additional enthusiasm and swag also. So it's exciting as we get closer to orchestrating the program, and we're happy today to talk a little bit about what that program is going to be.
And Liz, if you could put the sponsors in the chat, because I'm afraid I'll miss one. I'll read off who are sponsoring this as well. That's a good point, Kim. It's that financial support certainly helps with the social event, because we want to make it it's in a nice location, and we want to make it a nice event for everyone who's able to attend. I will say that I was very pleased that, in a sense, our role, the S4 team's role, has really just been helping in logistics. That, Kim, you and the team have said, this is what we want to do. Now, I'm not saying everything was possible. Some things were logistically not possible, but most of them were great. And I think you've built out a really interesting program. Maybe a good place to start is with really the start of the program, the Monday social event, which is 6:30 to 8:30 at Preston's Terrace, which right in the Lowe's facility. It's nice. It's got an indoor and an outdoor setting overlooking the pool, overlooking the ocean. So it should be really beautiful. But Saltanat, I know you've been involved with setting up that program. What's going to happen on Monday night?
So Monday night, the first program will have a career building panel. And of course, in parallel, we will have a social as well. But the biggest one will be career building panel. So it will be very useful for the women who would like to enter to the OT cybersecurity, or maybe to transition to the OT cybersecurity with from different background, let's say from automation engineer or from IT, or who would like to grow horizontally or vertically on OT cybersecurity. So why we decided to build this career building panel? Because our field, OT cybersecurity, is, I would say, it's quite scary. It's quite intimidating. It's not usually what I hear most. It's hard to enter field because of the risks. Because nobody wants newbie, basically new joiner, to touch OT infrastructure in a brownfield specifically. And another side which scares, I would say, not only women, I mean, all other people to enter this field, because you need to have all the IT security skills and plus 10 other stuff like safety or operational process, industrial protocols, plus electrical and mechanical basics as well. So in this career building panel, we will have around 5 panelists with different background, different experience. They're all in OT cybersecurity, but with a different role. So they have a lot of experience in this field. So they share about our field, where to start, how to enter, I would say, what skills are required, and what is the challenges are involved. So from this session, there will be, so the women will get different viewpoints from different backgrounds. For example, if someone asks me, let's say I started my career in OT cybersecurity being on site. So I was cybersecurity engineer on site, then switched to the Center of Excellence. So if someone asks me, I always answer, go to the site. Without site, it's hard to succeed in OT cybersecurity, which is not true. Therefore, we have 5 panelists with 5 different backgrounds who will share knowledge. And then, of course, in parallel, we will have social event who would like to network.
And the panel, do you envision this as, because I'm not sure how far along you are in the planning, and I've seen the 5 names, a really impressive set of names, and I do like how you picked people at different points in their career, taking different paths in their career, so that people, I think a lot of times just seeing what is possible is a very eye-opening experience and gives people hope and enthusiasm about pursuing the course. I guess to the question, will this be something where the 5 will speak, or will they be answering questions? How do you envision that time going?
So it will be mainly conversation type of discussion. So they share their experience, and plus they will advise what skills are required into their role. Let's say if it's a threat intelligence or architect or engineer, where to start, what kind of resources are needed, and of course, challenges being in OT cybersecurity as a woman or as a general, as a whole. And of course, at the end, why they are in this field, what keeps them engaged.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. And I just want to highlight again, especially for the women that attended last year. Last year, we had a small ask give session, but one of the real challenges was some of the attendees wanted to talk and some wanted to participate in the activity. In this case, we have a room for the panel, so that if you want to see the panel, which I think most of them will, they can go in there. If there's a couple that want to talk, they can stay outside. So we've intentionally separated that so it should work well. Donna or Kim, do you have any other comment on the social event or the panel?
Sure. Well, I think first of all, having it Monday night is a great opportunity for women to establish and build introductions and relationships early in the event, so that they can then, as they meet people throughout the 3 or 4 days, depending on how long they're there, that it's very nice that it's a great way to kick off S4 for women, for sure. And I think Saltanat's being modest. She will be moderating the panel, and she has recruited a very significant set of experts from industry, from practitioners, from government, and she'll be facilitating that conversation. And hopefully we will also have time for Q&A from the folks that are in the audience there as well. Plus the fact that there'll be another hour after the panel for additional socializing. People can ask questions one-on-one of the panelists during that time. So it's meant to kick off as both an enriching experience, but also a social experience to set the stage for the rest of the event. And I think, you have put together an event that often is a combination of lots of networking and social and meeting time, plus valuable content. And I think we're trying to mirror that a little bit on the Monday night kickoff.
Yeah.
And recognizing that last year there was definitely a huge amount of enthusiasm among a group of women who had never, ever been together in one room before. And I don't want to say it out of control, because it wasn't out of control, but there was a lot of appetite for discussion and just talking to one another. And so in formulating this year's program kickoff, particularly that Monday night event, I think we were trying to walk the line between 2 things: take advantage of the fact that there were all these women together in one place at that particular time and talk about career building in a meaningful way, but also make sure that people who wanted to socialize and network had, 2 hours to do that. So we're hoping to do that on the Monday night event. And at that time, actually, Donna will be introducing another element of the program to all the people that are in attendance there, as well as she's going to have an opportunity to talk about it now, which is this idea of one-on-one career coaching sessions for people, where they can, and I don't want to steal your thunder, Donna, so maybe You
So
can
you're
talk
going to
about,
start setting that up, or start getting people to do that
yeah.
at the Monday event?
Yeah, well, actually, on the the Women of ICS Cybersecurity page on S4, there already is an opportunity for women who want to coach to scan a QR code and submit their name to be coaches. So we're already starting to recruit the coaches for that event. We have, well, I don't want to steal Donna's thunder, but
Yeah,
there's a
Donna,
number.
why don't you talk a
Yeah,
little bit about the
sure.
program and
Go
how it's
ahead,
going to,
Donna.
because that's
Tell
going
us
to
about
flow
the
through the
Oh, yeah.
days, I think.
Yeah, no worries. We're really excited to have this opportunity to help women make these connections. And Saltanat did a great job with the panel, and many of the panel members will also be coaching, which I think is fantastic as well. So the women will have an opportunity to kind of understand who they'll be talking with, the caliber of the talent that they'll be connecting to. So we're happy to have a lot of the panelists also be coaches as well. So as Kim mentioned, you can sign up to be a coach through the Women in ICS webpage, but then you could also sign up. We'll have a table at the registration when you pick up your badge. Anybody can stop by, sign up, learn more about what we're doing. And that includes people who also want to sign up to be coached as well. So we'll have an opportunity to interact with everyone coming in as they come get their badges. And then also Monday night, we'll have sign up sheets for anybody maybe who didn't already have an opportunity to sign up. They can sign up there.
How are you deciding the match between the coach and the person asking the coaching for the coaching? Because I would imagine,
Yeah.
depending on what your role is, where you are in your career, there might be a better coach for you than another.
Right. That's a great question. We thought about making matches, and I think, depending on where somebody is and what they might choose, they may be looking for a change and may want to explore other areas maybe that don't match up with what they're currently doing, and it could just be somebody who, is happy where they are, but are curious about other areas as well. So it's a self-selection process. So we will have the coaches signed up, but then we're also going to try to, bucket them into expertise areas. So when we have their name listed on the sign-up sheet, just give like an area of expertise so somebody will kind of know a little bit about them before they sign up.
And now you're also, we haven't talked about it, but the women are also, we probably not the best thing from a profit motive, but we took the 3 key spots right outside where you go into the main stage and stage 2, and we call those the worthy cause exhibit areas. And the Women in ICS Security program is going to have the one right outside the main stage on Tuesday. So I'd imagine you'd be doing some more on your coaching or setting up these coaching sessions on that day. Are you going to be using that exhibit for some of that as well?
That's exactly right, Dale. We are going to use that exposure, thank you very much for it, to continue to promote, the theme of learn, build, grow, and career building for women, and to talk about the program that we have, and in particular to be talking to people about whether they want to be coaches or whether they want to be coached, and try to do some of that mapping using that space and time as well. The coaching sessions themselves can be done really anytime at S4 between the two people when they match up to one another in the many spaces that are available, that you've made available and that are available in the area there. So it's the first time we're going to try this, so it may be a little bit informal, I think, in the way we do it now. But we do think that there will be a lot of people there's certainly, we know already, lots of coaches who are really interested in spending 30, 45 minutes with other people to talk about the issues in their careers in a one-on-one sort of intimate setting, to provide that coaching and support. And so we'll figure out how to match people based on areas of expertise. In particular, the forms that we're using ask people, what are the areas, for me, I have a sales and marketing background. It would be highly unlikely that someone will want to talk to me that is a researcher unless they're interested in making a change, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
I
And
like
there's a
the
lot of
idea.
space available too for people to meet. There'll be a lot of opportunities to set up those meetings, like Kim said.
Yeah.
Well, and I like the idea of you starting that Monday night, because then you've got even if someone's staying only Monday, Tuesday, the 100 women that are just there and, on the free tickets, they have all day Tuesday to set up a time. And those that are longer can do it during the cabana sessions or whenever they want. I like the idea too. I'm sure, Saltanat, you've probably had this. You've probably, I would imagine, had many 30 to 45-minute conversations with other women asking you questions about their career and what they should do.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, in my ICS area, since I have started at site, I would say 90% is a male. Yeah, I had a few women, but my why we are building this career building and coaching, I would say minus part was giving them this big list. In order to succeed in OT cybersecurity, you need to know all of the steps, including all the ISO 62443, basically. So yeah, I would say the mentorship, I call this coaching or mentorship, it will help. And another example I would like to say, I recently had a conversation with a big oil and gas company representative. So they never had a woman in OT cybersecurity before on site. So a couple of years ago, one woman stood up and went to the site, and then 20 followed, basically. So right now, what they're saying is after 2 years, they're saying impressive contributions from those women who went to do like OT cybersecurity on site, basically. So yeah, it will help a lot, like building mentorship, coaching, where to start, what kind of skills required. Because when I was going to join, there are a lot of resources available for general IT security or cybersecurity. But when you start searching ICS cybersecurity, even certificates are very less. And certificates doesn't mean that you are good enough already. Yes, it will help a lot.
Yeah, I think there can be a lot of value imparted in those short conversations, and to a certain extent, I'm sure all of us on this screen have had those where a lot of times someone you don't even know reaches out to you and says, "Hey, I'm new to this field. Can I talk to you for 15 minutes or 30 minutes?" And it's a lot easier to say yes to that than will you be my mentor for the next 10 years? So I think this is a great way. My guess is you're going to get some mentor-mentee relationships coming out of those conversations. And then there's going to be somewhere, it's not going to be good. Maybe Donna, if someone wants to, can they sign up for more than one? Can they do one and then come back and do another? Or is this a one-time shot for a conversation?
I'm not sure what you mean by more than one. We will plan to have the coaches meet with more than one person.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a coachee, like if a coachee has one conversation on Tuesday, can they sign up for another on Wednesday?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure there are multiple, people who want to talk to multiple people. And just addressing also, Saltanat talked about skills, but there's also a confidence gap issue that maybe women don't feel like they don't see themselves in the role, and maybe talking to someone who's more experienced and has lived through it, help them get over that confidence gap to either make the next step or just get started.
Yeah. We saw that. It was funny. We saw for many years, we started this event in 2007, and for many years, I'd say at least the first 10 years, we would have a small number of women speakers, but they were typically the same women who spoke at conference after conference after conference. Marina Krotofil is a great example. Great speaker, very technical, and such, but it didn't seem to really blossom until we got maybe one year we had like 5 or 10 new speakers. And as soon as we had not the usual suspects, but there was like this, I wouldn't call it a critical mass, but more than a handful of people speaking that they hadn't seen speak before. The year after that, we got so many more responses to the request for presentations before. So I'm hoping that you can keep this ball moving from the 10 to the 100. I don't know if we're going to have 200 this year, but just keep it rolling like that. And everyone says, "Oh, I won't be such a unique person in this field if I follow it." So I'm really excited about that. I'll just throw this up.
We're going to help with that, Dale, by some of us are pretty vocal and so we'll be walking around with T-shirts. We're going to have pins. We're going to, I think, make an attempt to have a relatively high profile to help really women feel like they are a really important part of this community, even if they haven't felt that way when they go back to their office all the time.
Yeah. Well, what else is going on that we should know about in the program?
So I think we've covered
throw it out.
almost all of it. The Monday night is definitely the kickoff with the panel and the social. The career coaching sessions will be going on throughout S4. There's the Worthy Cause table where you can connect with us. And then lastly, for those folks that have full passes and are actually attending, the Cabana sessions, we're going to have a place to meet and greet women and talk about the program and really what our goals and objectives are for both the short term, meaning at S4, but also we're interested in learning a little bit about how women would like to see this program expand in the future. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll have a Cabana area up in the north, above all what I'll call the action, above the action in a little quieter location where there'll be some seating and lounge area for, again, another place for women to congregate and be together during the S4 event. So it's really, I would say those are pretty much all of the dimensions that we're hoping to execute for the program this year. And, it's really, there's a lot of passion amongst this very pretty large volunteer community to really make this a success and really think of it as planting the seeds for building a really strong and robust ongoing women in ICS security community.
Well, you kind of anticipated my last question is what do you hope to come out of this at the end of this? What do you hope this program achieves? Obviously it might help some individuals, but are there, and do you see, and again, I'll just throw this open to any of the three women, do you see this leading to something that is more ongoing, or do you see this as just kind of a single shot?
I see it as something ongoing, and I'm hoping that there'll be lasting relationships that come out of this, women who connect with each other, and just expand their network. You don't know who you're going to meet, or how they can impact you. So I think it's going to be an ongoing effort, and everyone that I've asked to help out, to coach, they've all said yes. Everybody is so willing to support each other. So I just think that's fantastic.
Saltanat, any last thoughts about what you hope comes out of it, or any encouragements for potential attendees?
Yeah, sure. So I would like to say that they will come out that this is a really exciting field. Another thing that women gets, I would say, scared from this field is I'm mommy of the 2 kids, and I was on site on everywhere. So they will get to know how to balance between family and being a professional in OT cybersecurity. And of course, as Donna mentioned, it's a lasting relationship. So we will, the mentors will be there to help in any part of their career.
Well, Kim, Saltanat, Donna, I want to thank you for being on the show, of course, but also even more so in helping put this together, and the team of another 10 or 20. I feel bad that I don't have all their names. I'm sure we'll recognize them somewhere. If you want more information on the program, including the speakers that will be in that great panel on Monday night, the QR code to sign up to coach, all the details of what's going to be happening. We put this site up if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, it's s4xevents.com, or the main site /women. If you can't remember that, just go up to the top of the page. You'll see women in the menu bar. Click on that, and there's a page of information there. The sponsors of the event, the Monday night event, are Atco, Booz Allen Hamilton, Nozomi Networks, and SynSaber. We really appreciate their support of the Women in ICS Security program. Their logos are also up on that page. And maybe as a final note on the 100 tickets, because we have quite a wait list for those tickets right now. I think it's like a 30-person wait list. We are getting some cancellations in. A lot of times when it's a free ticket, you sign up thinking, hey, maybe I can go. Well, some of the people have found they can't go, so they're thankfully coming in and telling us they can't go, and we're offering it to people on that list and giving them a week to sign up. So there's about five to 7 tickets that we're trying to place from people that have canceled to new ones. So hopefully we can work you in But if you were hoping to come on that ticket, there's still a small chance, but we'll try to finalize that in the next week, because I know you need to make travel plans.
Sure. And I would add to that, Dale, just at a logistical point, that if you are already a full S4 pass holder, you don't need to, in order to participate in the women's program, you don't have to have one of the free tickets that you're mentioning. It's really, you have everyone who's woman who is attending S4 on a pass has access to all these events. And
Yes.
you've been generous enough to make these additional 100 passes for people who are outside of that regular attendee community. So if you're a regular attendee and have a pass, make sure you give up your free pass, the free women's pass, to someone else who might not be able to have the benefit of a full pass through themselves or their employer.
We have been checking that, so I think we've caught most of those. But I think importantly, and I certainly wasn't clear on this in this show, if you've bought a ticket, you can come to the Monday night event. You can participate in the coaching. You don't have to be one of these 100 women in ICS ticket holders. Any woman at the event can participate in all of this program. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much for being on the show. Happy New Year to you, and I look forward to seeing you all in about a month.
Absolutely. Can't wait to be there. Thanks again, Dale.
Thank you.